Welcome back, everybody, to the Creating Character Podcast. This is episode 20. That's double tens. This is the... Thank you so much, Horn Man, wherever you are out there in the world, Horn Man. This is the least controversial podcast you could listen to about the cross-section, about where we are, where we're going, and where we've been. I know it sounds vague, but I have to keep it vague because I don't know what's going to happen when I toss it over to my co-host, Scorpio Sky.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There you go. There it
You remember
is.
that song?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Yes.
By
yes.
The Offspring.
The Offspring. We were talking about music before that. It just kind of popped into my head. I love that you can just change to a different language and it becomes lyrics
Oh, yeah.
to a song because it doesn't work in English. You can't be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5,
Oh,
6.
no.
It
Yeah,
just-
yeah. Yeah.
But when you flip that into Spanish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You know, the best one is always going to be U2.
What is that one?
1, 2, 3, 14. On everyone's
1, 2, 3, 14.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 14 on everyone's iPod, whether they want it or not. That's,
And speaking of whether they want it or not,
wow,
we also have our producer Eric Bedore here this week.
The Horn Man lives.
Horn
Welcome,
Man.
Horn Man. James, I gave you a really good countdown to begin. I've been trying out one counts and see if that works, but it seemed like you were a little bit thrown by it.
It works
so
in amateur
I want to
wrestling.
apologize.
it was fine.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah, I
Amateur
kicked out at
wrestling,
1.
Yeah, it's,
yeah.
false finishes in amateur wrestling suck.
Yeah.
That's
They're
the
so.
pin, and he gets his shoulder up. And he's
I'm
like,
convinced-
oh, the crowd's getting into it. Oh, you lost him.
I'm convinced that's why that sport hasn't taken off.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
not good. I mean, I remember in high school all the times you'd have a guy you'd be just trying to push his shoulder just a little bit more to looking at the ref and then back at and then finally he'd go wipe with his hand.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. All right, you get some points. And I go, thank God.
Is there any reaction when he's like, and then the guy can sit up and they're like, oh
No. They don't even do that too. When it's a pin, they just like blow the whistle and then they stand
Oh,
up.
they don't.
They don't really even slap the mat, really.
That's boring.
I think it's up to whatever
this
the
is
refs
why
want to do.
this is why there's no money in that sport.
There's no money in this.
Well, isn't that a thing that Hogan and Bischoff just tried to start to do, and then what happened to Hogan happened to Hogan?
You're gonna be more,
So
you're gonna
now-
be more
Yeah,
specific.
what happened to Hogan?
You're gonna have to be
happened
only
Hogan.
one thing ever
Ask
happened to Hogan in his
Bubba the
whole
Love
career.
Sponge. This is where we are in podcast world.
How did we get away with all those WCW themes that were just rip off of other songs? They were like, all right, how many notes is it when it's copyright infringement?
His
They were
was the
like,
actual-
5 notes.
yeah.
We'll use 4.
Yeah, because this was the actual song. It wasn't
His
even
was.
like a Raven,
Well, Diamond Dallas Page, yeah.
They were. It was just these
Dun,
songs.
dun,
Great song.
dun, 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 dun,
Self
dun,
high
dun.
five. So
I mean,
good.
it's great. I was young enough that I didn't understand. I was like, good for him. He got the song.
I thought DDP was so cool growing.
He
I mean,
was
he is
cool.
cool.
Yeah, and is cool.
Yeah.
He was great.
And we got Scotty Riggs working for us now at AEW.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah, the clap.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
We got the clap.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Is the Diamond Cutter from that time, is that like the most over finish?
It's called
from...
the Diamond Cutter. I should tell that story. Actually, there's a story behind that and then we'll answer your question.
Go for it.
So
Go
the
for it.
first time I ever did TNA way back in the day, I used the TKO as my finish. And at the time, Bully Ray was using the Diamond Cutter. And so I got to the back after the match and Bully Ray, he pokes his head over and he's like, great finish. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. And he's all, that's my finishing move. And he walks away. And so, I told it last week. I said, last week I was talking about how like, oh, if you're going to do a move that someone else does, you go ask, yada, yada, yada. So I felt bad. I was like, oh, I'm trying out. I'm trying to get a job. I said, I should go apologize. So I go over to him and I said, oh, hey, man, like, I just want to apologize. I didn't realize it. I was doing the TKO, it's not that big of a deal. He said, it's called a Diamond Cutter. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I just thought it wasn't that big deal because it was kind of a different move or whatever, like TKO. And it's called a Diamond Cutter. And I was like, Okay.
Great.
Like, that was,
Yeah.
It was kind of funny, but I love Bully Ray, man. He's, we talked a lot when we were in Ring of Honor, so shout out to him.
That's such a funny. The idea of those being the same move is pretty interesting.
I mean, it is kind of, yeah.
But that means that like almost every single suplex.
It's true.
That's like, oh well, he did a brainbuster.
He did
It's called the suplex.
He did like a neck breaker.
Yeah,
he did a rude awakening.
Any of those things are all just variations, and that's what makes them interesting is to see how people put their own spin on something that you see everywhere.
True. So to answer your question, you were asking, I think, was the diamond cutter like the most over move back then?
It's pretty.
Yeah,
over.
from like the 90s, because he would just hit it, and it was all the like different places he'd hit it from. But anytime he'd just do the regular diamond cutter, the WCW crowd, it's like they strapped rockets to everyone in the crowd. They shot out of their seats so fast. Like they loved it.
They had a lot of money. They might have actually done something like that. Maybe put some electrical shock in the seats.
Yeah.
And as soon as he hits it, they're, whoa, shoot. Hey.
It's a diamond cutter.
Uncle Ted got us again.
No, that was one of the most over moves, I'd say. That, the stunner. I moved my whole chair. The stunner, the spear from Goldberg,
right?
I'd say was huge.
Yeah.
But I mean, the diamond cutter was so cool.
I mean, I think that was kind of like, it felt like that's the beginning of the out of nowhere finish. A lot of wrestling before then felt it's a push and pull, a back and forth, and then a lot of it was a build up, almost more, the leg drop. It would be you do a bunch of things and then you do the finish to put the exclamation point at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Whereas there was a different style that kind of came about from these other finishes that were, it can end at any time. And there was a kind of real excitement that came from that.
Yeah, I actually got a finish from my match once from DDP. I would do a move. It's called the Gatson Cutter. Because Brandon Gatson, a wrestler from out here, he created it where basically you slingshot from the apron, turn your body in midair into the ring, and then you catch a diamond cutter on a guy. And so when I was going to do that match with Sting and Darby, I watched when Sting wrestled DDP, and their finish was DDP would go for the diamond cutter. Sting would like hold the rope for a second, then he'd kind of like hook him and do the Scorpion Death Drop. And so that's kind of where I came up with that idea from DDP and Sting. I was like, oh man, if I slingshot over and then he catches me, that would be a cool finish. And that's the finish we ended up doing at Double or Nothing back in 2021.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DDP, man.
DDP, he had to figure it out. He definitely, because he didn't start until a little bit later, but it's just a testament to the psychology. He understood what a great character should be. He understood what a great match should be. Like he had no
underdog character. The jeans, the taped ribs for like 2 years.
The taped ribs, always perpetual taped ribs.
That had to be annoying
Crazy.
too, like having to tape your ribs every week.
Yeah, but if you're not going to be an abs guy, then you might as well just tape your ribs and be like, oh yeah, I'm hurt.
But he was an older, jeans wearing, like mullet guy from Vegas.
Yeah,
that was like all he had to work with, and he skyrocketed.
He was also
like
like 6'6".
Yeah, I guess
big
he was.
dude.
Yeah, I guess he was big.
Something
He did
like
look
that.
big
I
on
don't know if he
TV.
was 6'6", but like he was a big dude. But
yeah,
really good, man. He had some good matches. He was a hell of a worker, man.
Great,
awesome dude.
Yeah.
I really like him too. Like as a person, awesome dude.
Yeah,
really cool guy, man. Really cool guy.
Very positive.
So, Eric.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool guy, we we haven't actually heard from you in a while. What have you been doing?
So I've been I have this. I have 100% Eat. I have the Regulation Podcast for anyone who's listening to this and they go, what else do these guys do? That's what I do. My job is podcast, largely. On the weekends, I am a professional wrestling commentator in Austin, Texas for Borracho Pro Wrestling, AAPW, New Texas Pro Wrestling, and Inspire Pro Wrestling.
That's a busy schedule.
That's a
man.
lot of money. He must be pulling in a lot of money.
Millions
a
of
lot
dollars.
of jobs.
That was going to be my question. How do you guys get paid at this? It's a really fun hobby, and I think the cool thing is I love this level of pro wrestling. Like, people, I think, in general, don't know that there are sort of like levels to professional wrestling. It like baseball, where you kind of like ply your trade and then you're like in single A and they call you up to double A and you get a shot at triple A, but you're maybe not quite ready. So you're back in double A, and then, somebody sees you and you get a shot at the big leagues and you end up on TV and I don't know, Jack Perry squashes you or something in like a 30-second match. You know what I mean? Like,
what's the Savannah Bananas equivalent of professional wrestling? And how can I get there? Do you not know the Savannah Bananas?
No.
Cool. All right.
Really?
Well, we'll get back into it later. Don't worry about it. You should look it up.
Wow.
Otherwise, we'll get completely sidetracked. It's basically pro wrestling meets
it's
baseball.
the Harlem Globetrotters.
Globetrotters.
Wow.
But they do like
It's baseball Harlem Globetrotters.
It's like someone hits a fly ball and then the guy's watching it, but before it comes, he does a backflip and then catches it.
Oh, crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah. There's a guy on stilts.
What the hell?
If you weren't sold yet,
Yeah.
what if I told you the
that
guy on
sounds
stilts?
cool.
Sorry.
Are all these
Distracted.
promotions you do? I know we cut you off. I want you to finish.
Yeah.
But I am curious. Are they all in Austin or in surrounding area or?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So they all AAPW is a school here in Austin, and that's where I kind of got my start. And I was just a fan going to the shows, and one of the producers in the back was just like, "Hey, would you ever want to just do like guest commentary?" And I went, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So I just did it for a show, and I don't think they knew that I'd done it before and that I knew how to do it. I called some shows back in San Diego for a thing called Super Awesome Showdown, a very like goofy, like a pro wrestling, like goofy superhero promotion thing. And so they asked me to do guest commentary, and then at the end of the night, they're like, "Hey, do you want to just be like the guy here?" And I went, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So I do that like every other Saturday. And then these other promotions run usually on like Sundays out here in Austin, and New Texas is one that runs all over Texas. That's out in Houston, up in Dallas, out here in Austin, and it just kind of runs everywhere. But I kind of pop in when they're in Austin and do a really fun job. There's a lot of guys. Austin is a wrestling city,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of guys really coming up. I mean, you've been here. You know, Sky,
Austin.
that there's just a lot of guys coming out of here. Danny O'Ryan, Houston Hendricks, Travis Cuddy, Mokele, Lou Cameron, who's the son of Lethal Larry Cameron, an old school pro wrestler. His son wrestles out here, Lou Cameron, and there's just like a great scene coming out of Texas that reminds me a lot of what Southern California was when it finally kind of picked up steam again, because man, it was a desert out there for like a long time. There was like not a lot of pro wrestling in SoCal until kind of PWG shot everything in the arm and everyone went, we can do this. And there's more and more. But that's what I do. I mean, I don't have weekends anymore. Like my days are so busy, but then now my weekends are professional wrestling, and it's a blast.
Yeah, you are like the most busy person I know.
Yeah.
You are insanely busy. I remember you were talking about your schedule several episodes back, and all the comments were good Lord, how does he have time?
Yeah. It's what it is, you know? It's like, I think the hard part is, and I think James could probably speak to this too, at Rooster Teeth, when we worked at that company and James at Funhouse and everything, you have like your set schedule and you're very busy, but what interrupts the work is talking about the work, and that's in like meetings, and you're trying to like figure stuff out and catch people up, and it's sort of like, I don't want to say like a waste of time, but I'll say it's a waste of time. And now that I'm independent, I mean, I own 2 companies, I work for myself. That's just how this stuff is. I fill my days. I'm like walled. I wake up, I work out with our friend Blaine. I get done, I come home, I shower, I eat, and then I'm working from now until I get done with this. I'm going to jump in my car and film promos for AAPW as soon as I'm done with this. I won't be done, and then I have to get ready for more shoots tomorrow. So I won't be done until 9 or 10 tonight. And that's just what it is.
I want to ask, because we talked about my experience more recently trying to develop as a professional wrestler. Sky, obviously you have a longer scale of experience to build on.
Still trying to develop.
And we're still trying to grow and get better. I want to kind of tie that into what you're doing though too, because obviously you never had desire to be in the ring, taking bumps, doing this stuff, but you love this world. So you landed in commentary. What do you feel like the improvement pattern? Because as an outsider, I would think you're either great at it or you're not. But we know that isn't true because some people get better, right? And even the clips that you posted of yourself that I watch, I'm like, Eric's so comfortable right now. Like, he's so comfortable. He's so in it. He knows the people that he's working with. He knows the wrestlers he's talking about. So how do you feel like you've developed, and what like methods have you used to get better?
A lot of what it takes as what I'll call the lead commentator on some of these is knowing not even what's going to happen, but knowing the story that's going to get told in the ring, going to the guys beforehand and going like, just in a sentence, what are you trying to get over? Not what are the moves that, like, I don't need to know the sequences. I don't need to know your spots. I know what you do. I know what 3 moves each guy does to really put over. But are you telling, oh, this guy's hurt and he's going to keep going for the arm? The most basic good guy, bad guy thing. Or is this going to be a cowardice? Oh, this guy keeps running away. Like, what's the story that we're telling? And when you have that and you can tell that competently, you gain a lot of trust from a lot of wrestlers. There's a wrestler out here that I've been working with a lot, Brick Savage, who is an absolute monster, just tearing it up all over Texas, like really should be in like that next level, is so creative and has these ideas that just lay out like, here are the overarching, because I'm calling all these shows, they're telling me like, here are the 3 things that I'm trying to get over in like the next 4 shows. And then I know on commentary, boom, 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 I can have that. If I didn't have that, I would not be at the level that I'm at. And it just takes being friendly, talking to the wrestlers and asking them, what do you want? Because I think that that's a thing that a lot of people aren't doing. They're fighting for their spots and trying to get on the card and doing everything that they want to do. They don't have a lot of people coming up and be like, hey, how can I help you? And that's really it. And then just doing it a lot. I mean, James, you know, we've been behind mics for 20 years. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a natural thing. You just kind of turn off, you get in the zone and you go. You just have to know where you fit in. And sometimes it's color and sometimes it's play-by-play. I'm never trying to get myself over. I'm never trying to be the center of attention at those shows because I'm just a piece trying to elevate everyone else.
Which to me, knowing you, I've known you for a really long time, is interesting because if you said I was doing commentary, I'd be like, well, he's got to be color commentary.
Yeah.
He's got such a big personality. It seems like it'd be a waste for him to just tell us what we see.
I could see him doing play-by-play as well. Yeah, I could see you doing play-by-play as well.
Yeah.
One thing that you said, though, that I really like is, as a wrestler myself, I like it when the commentators will come to us before the show and say, hey, is there any story for your match? Is there anything you want me to get over? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I love that because there's certain things that you guys could tell the story without us even, you know, and the fans aren't going to pick up on some things. And I'll give you one example. And this is why I love Jim Ross still to this day. I wrestled Cody on Dynamite a few years ago. And I'm really, really big on making things like legitimate, right? Like they'll say, you know, you'll hear the term like think, shoot, and work, right? And so when it comes to like fighting, taking the center of the ring or cage is important. That gives you an advantage. Now they're on their back foot. And so when that match started with Cody, as soon as the bell rang, I jumped right out to the center of the ring. And that's something that most people aren't going to pick up on. But JR, who's watching it, he was just like, well, Scorpio won that part of the match.
He took control.
Yeah. He like, Scorpio won, you know, took whatever he said. I don't remember exactly what the verbiage was.
He picked up on it.
But he picked up on it and he articulated that to the audience. And that's something that people don't understand is commentators, they can tell the story for you in ways that like you're telling it physically, but not everyone's going to get it. And that's what it takes guys like you to translate it to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's sort of there's a sickness in independent professional wrestling that is, we are done with the match. They gave us 22 minutes. We told the story. Now I must get on the microphone and tell everyone the story that
you guys
we just
are doing
told.
22 minutes?
That is
that sounds so long, by the way. Yeah.
How much is it? Three matches on the card?
That does sound long.
That is like, that was like an endemic thing to me, where it was just like, if you can't tell your story in that amount of time that you have to get on the mic afterward, it's like, well, then what are we doing? Like, so like, leave it to people who can actually talk to get it over, so people can watch this. Like, a lot of the stuff that I have, it's like AAPW is just on like YouTube and Twitch. Like, when we stream it out on, it's free on YouTube and Twitch when we do like these live shows and everything. The other shows are on like IWTV, like Independent Wrestling TV, because there's platforms now where you don't have to sell DVDs anymore to get this in front of people. And trying to create a full production is so much fun. I love getting there, getting everything plugged in, ready, testing the mics, testing the cameras. Hey, we're going to run through this. Hey, this entrance, this is how we want to shoot. I want to present you as big, so we're going to shoot low, and this other guy's going to come in and rush. We're going to have these shots. I love that part of it. And then I just want to leave it to the wrestling to speak for itself, so that way we can dig down, tell the story that isn't just right in front of you, but here's what's been developing. Here's this character. Here's what's going on. There's a guy out here, Ollie Summers, that was part of a group and then had a falling out, and he's trying to find these tag partners, and it's been this ongoing story with him that's really helped to get him over. And it's been a lot of fun to be a part of that, and I love helping these guys get to the next level. And then, Sky, you know this also, that all these guys are like 22 years old, and so you go, hey, you should slow down and try not to like go insane. And they go, that's good advice. Watch me go insane. And then they are... Dude, guys killing each other, diving to the outside. This guy, Travis Cuddy, keeps going viral for just destroying guys with drop kicks, but they're so safe, but also he's killing guys with drop kicks. It's been crazy. So that's what I've been up to. That's all my stuff.
No, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, good Lord, you have a schedule, man.
Yeah.
So busy.
That's crazy.
Holy cow.
But it's cool because I get to do this, and this is a job, and this is a fun career thing. But something I actually wanted to touch on, because we're deep in the episode, and I apologize, but something I wanted to touch on was something that you talked about off camera, Sky, that I want to bring up now, is that one of your first jobs was a mall job?
Probably security, right? It must have been like security. No, not security. Let's see.
And what was the mall job?
So
what was the mall job that you were doing?
I ever had was in the mall, and I was in the food court. And so it's like, I don't know why. Oh, I knew a guy. I went to high school with a guy, and then he was like, yeah, man, come on by. I'll put in a word for you, get you the job. Okay, cool, man, cool. So I go and I put in the word, or put in the application. I get the job, and I'm making bagel sandwiches. Right?
What was the restaurant or whatever?
It was called like,
it wasn't a chain.
Bruegger's Bagels. Or
Bruegger's
something?
Bagels.
Okay,
Yeah,
is that, you know,
that's
that
the thing. Yeah.
All right, so that was it.
Yeah.
And so they had me making sandwiches. They did not tell me how to make any sandwiches.
Okay.
And so I'm just making shit. Like, people are like, can I get this whatever called? I'm like, sure, man. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just throwing shit on bread.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Like, probably the word, like, nobody complained, but like, they should have. They might have ordered a vegan sandwich and got like 8 pieces of salami or something on there. Whatever. You know, I just did it. So I did it for a week. And then the guy that owned, you know, managed that place also managed Cajun Grille.
Okay.
And so he saw me one day, and he was just like, you look like you'd be a good cook.
Yeah.
You want to be a cook?
Bagels aren't your speed.
Maybe it was because of the sandwich. Maybe he did get complaints.
Yeah.
But I was like, I've never cooked anything before in my life. And then the next week, I was working as a cook. And when I say working as a cook, all I did was make sauce and wash dishes. And that sauce is just ketchup and pepper, by the way. And
all right,
so that whole Cajun sauce,
the Cajun secret's out of the bag.
Ketchup and pepper. That's it.
Okay.
So then I did that for a week. So after that, before all of that, I applied at a job at a kiosk, and it was do you remember RF Video?
Insane. I bought so much stuff from RF Video. That's crazy.
Yeah, RF Video. They had like a pro wrestling cart.
Okay.
And they sold like tapes and merchandise. And one of my best friends, Chris Jackson, worked there. And so, but it's a kiosk. He only has so many people. And so they didn't have an availability. So I put in the application. And so after working in the food court for 2 weeks, the guy that was running the kiosk, his name was Chris Borja. He was like, hey, man, we had a guy quit or whatever it was. We got an opening if you want the job. And I was like, hell yeah. So I quit that food court job, and my friend got all mad at me because he put in a word for me. He was like, "Yeah, whatever, man." He never spoke to me again. He was so mad that I quit his food court job. Yeah, and then I started working at RF Video, the little cart, and like I remember when wrestlers would come by, or Spanky came by, and I was like, "Oh crap, this is Spanky." I met Shelley Martinez there. What else? Like so many people would come by. I think like Ricky Reyes. Yeah, it was cool just meeting some wrestlers.
How long were you at this kiosk?
Couple of months, and then it closed because I worked there from like September or October until December, and then I closed up one day. And I went home, and then Chris called me, and he said, "Don't bother going to work tomorrow. They shut us down." And so basically what happened is they had these kiosks all across the country. And when they opened Ring of Honor, they closed all of them down. I guess maybe they were moving finances or something. So like I always kind of looked at it as like, damn, Ring of Honor cost me my job.
Yeah.
And so the full circle moment was years and years later in 2019 when I left Ring of Honor with our group, went to start AEW, and then not long later we put Ring of Honor out of business. So I got my payback.
You got him.
Boom!
Gotcha.
Slam!
Payback.
I just imagine people going home with their videos that they bought from you, and they're like, "Why the hell is there salami in this thing?" You couldn't help yourself.
Couldn't help myself.
Everything you touch ends up with some salami on it.
I loved that job.
Yeah.
I got to just sit and watch wrestling all day, and then people come by, and I get to talk about wrestling and just whatever. It was cool, man.
Yeah.
It was a good job.
Man, RF Video is like such a... James, if you're not familiar with RF Video, just off the top of your head, if you've ever seen a shoot interview where two guys are kind of drunk talking shit to a camera to a guy off screen, that's an RF video,
Shoot
baby.
interviews.
Watch
Okay.
a shoot interview.
I've seen some CM Punk IRF video interviews.
It's that
Did
stuff.
you have a shoot interview?
Yeah.
Oh man, that must have been old.
Yeah, it's him and Joe, I think. Oh yeah. Big time. I think it's him and Joe, and they just talk shit. But that's what they all were. It was like, here's a payday. Scott
Honky
Hall
Tonks,
and
man.
Kevin
Honky
Nash.
Tonks were the best, yeah.
That's
was
it.
a piece of shit.
That's it. It's
Oh, him. Yeah, he was a piece of shit.
but like, that's all. I think there are people that lament for shoot interviews. They're like, oh man, that was like it's a bygone era. That's never coming back. And it's like, you have podcasts. You get that shit every week. It gets interrupted by Blue Chew ads
That's
or
the
whatever.
thing
But
too,
it's the
man,
same.
like because of the way everything's changed, you couldn't open a kiosk like that anymore. I guess you could, but you just wouldn't sell videos. You could sell other merchandise because we had like WWE, the replica titles and figures and stuff. So I guess maybe when I retire, I try to open one of those in the mall.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
That'd be fun. That'd be my dream. That's my
Your
post
Yeah,
wrestling.
some people
Your
go
retirement
fishing
plan.
or tour the world. You will be sitting in a director's chair at the mall,
It's a director's
waiting for
chair.
Spanky to come
Yeah,
by.
wait for Spanky to come by. People walking by, looking at
Spanky will come
me
by.
like, man, he used to be something.
Yeah. And you're like, I am something.
I'm still something.
I've never been happier.
This is the happiest I've ever been.
Take this sandwich and go.
Full circle, man. I would
Wow.
love it.
That's incredible.
Sound like a real old
I'd
school
love it.
wrestler there, man.
I'd love
This is
that.
pretty good. Damn.
Yeah,
That's
James,
pretty good.
what you
That's
been
pretty
up
good.
to?
Well, this kind of ties in because I said that I had a little something, and it has nothing to do with really what I've been up to, just something I've been thinking about.
Okay.
You're talking about retirement,
Yeah.
right? I've been thinking about a lot. Maybe it's the state of the world, but also like, where do we go? What is the end game? Because when I was young and I came to LA and thought, oh, I want to make movies and I want to write and make movies. I don't think that's impossible now, but I'm way more honest with myself about what that dream looks like.
Oh boy.
And ultimately, what I've reckoned with that I think is valuable to everyone watching and listening, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it because you're both experiencing this too with all of the entrepreneurship that Eric's doing with wrestling, with this podcast. I feel like loving the process is the key, right? Like if you get caught up in the end result, whether it's, oh, I'm going to be a director for a specific movie, or even I started writing a new screenplay. I'm working on a new screenplay. And in my head, the first thought is, man, I can't wait until this is done and in my hand. But that's not as valuable as going, you know what's really fun? Opening up this file, putting a few pages down, you know, like getting some ideas out of my head, spitting it out there. This podcast, I think the dream would be that we could do this podcast and we could be like, oh my gosh, so we're reaching so many people, right? And people are sharing clips of us and we get sponsorships so we can make some money on it, right?
Pay for the podcast.
We can pay for the podcast to exist. Like all those things are awesome and hopefully would be, but doing it is super fun, right? Like all these things that I've been trying to teach myself Spanish. I've been playing guitar for years and I'm thinking like, oh, well, you know, maybe someday I'll be on a stage doing a solo or whatever. But I'm sure if you asked the people who are on stage doing solos, they're like, I still have to learn. I'm still learning guitar, right? The only this is just part of the process. And so this is just a broad thing. I don't even really have a point, but loving the process is something that I've really thought about a lot as I've gotten older and opened up new experiences and continued pursuing long experiences.
And that's something that you don't really pick up on until you are older. Obviously, anyone that knows me knows I was always a big Kobe Bryant fan. And I can remember a time when he was like the Mamba, you know, right? And he was just active and he was in it. And if they didn't win a championship, he said, oh, this is a wasted year. Like I wasted a whole year. And towards the end, he would say like, the dream is the process. Like the process is the dream. It's getting up and going into training and then preparing for the games and then playing the games, like that sort of thing. Like that's the actual dream. So it kind of goes to what you're saying. And at the same time, I think about another quote he had that I always remind myself of, and that's rest at the end, not in the middle. And a lot of times we're just kind of like, we become a little complacent, and I'm very guilty of this, where I'm just kind of like, well, maybe this is as far as it goes. Like maybe this is the stop, and you know, it might not be, right? Maybe it's just the middle of the trip. It's up to you to kind of keep putting that game face on and going after whatever is next while enjoying the process. I'm really bad at enjoying the process. And it's not that I don't like it. It's that I'm so focused on, okay, what's next, that I don't have time to appreciate it. So, you know, I think it's important to focus on what's next, but at the same time, slow down a little bit. And I'm trying to do that. And it's one of the reasons I was happy I was able to do that when I had that comeback match a couple months ago. Because that's the type of thing that myself a couple of years ago, I would have done it and been like, okay, cool. What's next? What am I doing next week? You know? And then I look back a year, 2, 3 years later, and I'm like, damn, that was a hell of a night. And I do that now. I look back at like SCU. I look back at Men of the Year, and I'm just like, God, that was so much fun. I would give it almost anything to go back and relive one of those nights and go do this and that. And like, it was so much fun, and those days are gone. They're not coming back. So very important to just kind of stop and appreciate, you know, they say stop and smell the roses. Like that's a real thing, man. Like you have to stop and enjoy the process and enjoy even the tough days, you know, because once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
With this turns to a sad note.
Yeah. So yours is a sad version.
No, it's good. No, you're right though. But it's like Kobe said, job not finished.
Job's not. I don't think so.
But even that, I would say, like, even though you can't go back to those times or those moments, as long as you can stop in the midst of them and appreciate them, you had that experience, right? Yep. And it doesn't mean that you might not find new ones along the way. Absolutely. But if you're fixated on the next one, you'll never look around you and see where you're standing, you know.
At the same time as all of that, though, you can't be too focused on the past. You gotta, you gotta keep your eyes.
Absolutely.
I used to always say, if you're focused on the rear view, you miss what's in front of you. You know, and you have to kind of you can't keep beating yourself up on what happened before, or even celebrating what happened before, because it's like, well, no, I want to make new great memories too. You know, so.
This is a silly little thing that I do sometimes where it's something stupid like making the bed or whatever. You get out of bed, you can just walk away and start your day, or you can make the bed. And sometimes I'll do this thing where I'll go, no, I'm going to make the bed because future James will appreciate this.
I like that.
And then when I get in bed, I'll go, thank you, past James.
Yeah.
And
I did a post about making my bed years ago, and there were a lot of people that were like, nah, I don't make my bed.
Oh, you got to make
I'm
your
like,
bed.
what?
You got to make
How
it.
do you not make I mean, I can understand maybe if your spouse is still sleeping in it. Or
Well,
something.
sure. Yeah, sure.
But like if you get up and it's you or whatever, and you leave it unmade, like what are we doing?
It feels so much better to get in.
Savages.
You pull back the cover or whatever, you slide in, then you mess it up.
Yeah.
But that's part of the dream. If you get into it and it's messy, you're looking for the...
I don't do it at hotels. Even if I don't have service, I don't make my bed.
I probably don't like tuck things or whatever, but I'll probably like... I don't want it to be all lumped up.
Yeah, no, I throw it, flatten it out.
Yeah,
for sure.
flatten it out, but it's not like immaculate.
Yeah. Especially, actually, even if I'm picking out what I'm going to wear, like even if I'm at home or whatever, if the bed is not like at least flattened out, like I can't just move the covers over. I have to flatten it out and then lay my clothes on top of it, whatever reason. I don't know why. Get in the comments. Let us know. Do you make your bed when you get up in the morning? And if you don't, tell us why you don't.
Yeah. This isn't popcorn controversial, but we might find something.
No, I think we're all on the same page, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
there you have it.
That was great.
We're done
boys.
already?
That was a quick one.
Through it.
That was a quick one.
Fast.
That one flew.
That was
Dude, can you believe it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
Yep.
time flies when you're wrestling with the week.
Nope, that's the old one. That's the old one.
That's not the name of the show. That's a different show. Wrong show.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Time flies when you got to regulate your time.
No,
What?
that's the
No?
other one that
That's
he
the other
does.
one?
That's the other one.
Jesus Christ.
I guess.
There's the horn guy. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you want to get more bite-sized chunks of this podcast, make sure to subscribe and follow us at Creating Character Pod on Instagram, on YouTube. Get in the comments. Let us know what you thought about making the bed.
It got real quiet there. What happened?
I saw Eric and he was cracking up. He's like, what's he? He's like, he's promoting the ancillary branches of the podcast. Really, what do you say? No, yeah. Let us know what you think about making the bed. And this is our 20th episode.
Yo, we made it.
We're doing it. We're really killing it. I'm having such a blast doing this podcast, and I hope you guys are having a blast listening. If you want to get more of me, you can search for me, James Willems. Pretty much going to pop up almost certainly.
If you want to get more of me, you type in Scorpio Sky in the Google machine and I will come up. That's it.
Find me at Eric Badura on everything. Check out those independent wrestling promotions that I'm calling all those shows for, because that's probably why I'm calling all those shows for promotion like this.
Yeah. And
That's what they're
MPW
looking
for me. You want to see James Angel? Check out MPW on YouTube.
Get me booked.
Yeah, there you go. I want to see James Angel. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's it for episode 20. We'll see you next week with another one. Bye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. 14.